people have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View, because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist. She injected skin color into a fairly generic behavior seen in all spouses, regardless of skin color. People marry, they listen to each other, they have something in common with them, they share their political views. She just didn't want to upset her husband by saying her husband makes her do everything, and then she'd have to accuse him of being a racist. Because if he told her that this is what white women do, then he's a racist.
What happens when Greg Gutfeld and Bill Maher tag team to obliterate The View? You don't get a roast, you get a tactical strike. Even Whoopi's wig seemed ready to tap out. This wasn't casual critique. It was intellectual blitzkrieg. One brought the venom, the other brought the scalpel. And together, they left no virtue signal unscorched.
The way out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap, because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country, and I don't hate half the country.
The View has turned into daytime TV's loudest echo chamber. A chaos buffet of over-talking, under-thinking, and applause for rent. Dialogue doesn't exist here, it drowns in noise. But then came Maher and Gutfeld, crashing the estrogen-fueled brunch circle like a Molotov tossed into a candle store. They didn't bring tea. They brought gasoline and a flamethrower.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
Gutfeld, the right-wing humorist with a sniper's timing. Maher, the left-wing contrarian who drags his own side with more precision than the opposition ever could. Their ideologies may clash, but on this battlefield, they were in sync. The View isn't a discussion forum. It's a vanity project where truth goes to die under studio lighting and smug laughter.
Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Gutfeld's beef. The show markets itself as balanced, but it's more like an angry group chat where everyone's yelling and no one's listening. Try offering a dissenting opinion, and you'll be met with synchronized eye rolls and weaponized condescension. Joy Behar rewrites history on the fly. Sunny Hostin lectures like she's grading you, and Whoopi. Half the time she looks like she's buffering mid-sentence.
Behar gets racism after all. She's been black on Halloween. Yeah. But Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. But that is convenient, right? It's like one of my aunts dies every time Brian Kilmeade wants to hang out. Maybe Joy needs a full day to read her hate mail, and that's just from the rest of the cast.
To Gutfeld, The View isn't a show. It's emotional karaoke masquerading as journalism. Guests with opposing views aren't invited to talk. They're led into an ambush. Inclusivity stops where disagreement begins. Conservatives aren't debated. They're dismembered. He calls it what it is. Studio activism in bad lighting. Hosted by people whose brows scream harder than their logic.
Obviously, just the parts that you said. Did I watch a whole episode of The View?
No woman can do that unless you're stupid. But
I have a job.
Here's the thing. How can they call themselves progressives when they keep saying that nothing has progressed? Then it's on them.
Right. I just wish I could have, would have watched if I could, would have been Joy Behar watching that.
Yes.
And being like, I totally made the right call. Like, it was not an accident that they had him there on her day off.
Yes.
When she was, presented herself as the, expert on systemic racism as a white lady.
Well, she had that one Halloween where she went to Diana Ross and she felt she was treated differently.
Then there's Maher. If Gutfeld fires shots from a distance, Maher walks straight into the bunker with a grin and a grenade. He took aim at their obsession with purity tests and social justice soundbites. Maher's critique wasn't subtle. Disagree slightly, and you're instantly labeled problematic, outdated, or worse. Not an ally. No room for nuance. Just cancel-ready hostility on cue.
Well, I had a different question, but it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're.
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. So, the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely.
Maher also gutted the content itself. Lazy hot takes. Headlines skimmed, not read. Emotions substituting substance. While Gutfeld called out the show's fake balance, Maher accused it of fake intelligence. Their conversations are so predictable, you could set an alarm to them. It's less political commentary, more cosplay with coffee mugs.
Whoopi Goldberg, because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week
Yeah,
before.
sure.
So everybody was like, "Oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma." First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide. Yeah.
Here's the punchline. Despite standing on opposite ends of the spectrum, both Gutfeld and Maher landed on the same truth. The View isn't a debate platform anymore. It's a church sermon for the converted. Independent thought is exiled. Applause is choreographed. Dissent is heresy. Gutfeld calls it theatrical activism. Maher cult brunch with better lighting.
Enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Maher, who has been the standard bearer for liberalism and in many ways leftism until the woke went bananas in this last decade, but for decades, that's what this guy has represented in America. I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sonny Hostin's body language and the way they look at him and everything else. Just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas, here they are.
What did The View do in response? Nothing. No clapback, no self-reflection. Just a forced grin and a quick pivot to celebrity gossip. A show that claims to love hard conversations, folded like a bad poker hand when the heat got real. Gutfeld and Maher didn't attack, they intervened. And viewers noticed.
Canada, apparently they're throwing tariffs on manatee meat and bovine semen, which means The View is very unhappy. Oh.
If The View wants its credibility back, it needs more than token conservatives and staged conflict. It needs actual ideological diversity, not sandbags wearing microphones. Because when your critics are funnier, sharper, and more insightful than your hosts, you're not running a talk show, you're curating cringe. And no, Gutfeld and Maher won't be making the Christmas card list.
You look tantalizing.
You know, I make fun of The View a lot, but that's only because they keep talking. Because COVID also taught Sonny Hostin how to get her groceries delivered.
3 years, that's when I discovered Instacart, and I give them a big tip because they don't always pay their people well, and it's so that's been an issue, I think, for the company. But man, you can get toiletries, you can get fire logs.
Fire logs? She had to tell the audience that she tips big because even she knows she sounds insane.
One guy who thinks liberals are off the rails, and another who used to agree with them. Both staring at The View like disappointed parents at a school play. Maher once shared their values. Gutfeld never did. Yet both walked away shaking their heads, asking, how did it get this bad?
Who, by the way, I hope is still a friend. We can disagree with each other. Should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Not every
every single thing has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do a communication.
It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but
It's
isn't it interesting? And it's wrong. I mean, I don't think they meant this when Robert Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's the...
In an era where common sense feels extinct, it took two ideological opposites to say what millions think. The View isn't a conversation. It's a noise machine chasing viral moments. If they really want balance, here's an idea. Give Gutfeld and Maher a week to co-host. Watch real talk replace canned outrage. Until then, we're left wondering how the court jesters ended up sounding more sane than the self-proclaimed sages.